G'day, guys. Welcome to the preview. I never thought I'd get back to this point. Like we had the bye, and I was in a pretty dark place. I think a lot of us were after the Giants loss, successive losses, really poor performances, and such an underwhelming season thus far. And so many question marks about the football club. And I never, like once the bye came around, and I never thought I'd get back to this place pre the Essendon game, thinking, I just need a break and everything will be okay. I'll get that appetite back. I'll be a little bit more excited, a little bit more positive. I never thought that was going to happen at all. However, I'm worse. I'm actually worse. It's amazing. I'm worse now than what I was then. I feel further removed from the football club. I know that's depressing. And me and my mate, who I introduced to you, in the review after the Giants loss, we're still in that dark place as supporters, and I would be really interested to hear how you're feeling going into the second half of the season. I really would. I can't pretend. I can't fabricate. I can't manufacture something which is not there inside me. And I'll be honest, really honest with you. I could not give a flying fuck whether we win this game or lose this game. I won't be skipping and jumping for joy if we win. I certainly won't be losing any sleep if we don't get the chocolates. I'll nod at a win, and I will shrug my shoulders at a loss, and I'll move on. And I honestly don't want to feel that way, but that's just the way I feel at the moment. And I don't know when that real gut passion, and the way I describe that gut passion is the nerves, like the nerves going to a game of football, that the butterflies, the excitement, that real excitement, and trying to put a finger on like the exact reason why I'm feeling this way is very difficult. And the more I think about it, the further I do drift away, if I'm honest. Like I'm just drifting further and further away from the football club. It's funny because I got a really interesting text message this morning on the way to work from someone I haven't been in contact with now for a good 6 to 8 months. We regularly texted each other and spoke on the phone. And I'm not going to mention who that person is, not by name anyway, but you might put two and two together. This is like a supporter was like me and like most of you who follow this channel, very passionate about the football club, but in a very different way to me. Like he is one of the most positive supporters, almost to me infuriating almost infuriating how positive he was. And this is in the darkest of times. And a very popular Carlton supporter as well, quite well known. In the sort of, he's a bit older than me, but in the sort of podcast, Carlton podcast sort of stuff and content creating kind of field, and terribly popular. The voice, I call him the voice, the godfather and voice of reason. And I got a text message the first time in a long time. He just went kind of missing, just disappeared. And this is what he sent me. He actually watched my video in regards to the up-and-coming father and sons that we've got, Cody Walker and Harry Dean, and also the NGA. So he watched that video and he just wanted to know a little bit more information regarding Harry Dean and all that type of stuff. Said he enjoyed the video, and then he said this: "I haven't been to a game all year. I don't enjoy watching our games." And this is a guy that's got reserve seats and has bought a membership for the best part of 55 years, goes every week. I haven't been to a game all year. I don't enjoy watching our games. I'm through being positive about our football club. I'm through being disappointed, and I'm through being frustrated. I'm actually angry, and I am completely disconnected. And I'm not saying it floored me, but it floored me from him. And this obviously aligns with me. Like this aligns with me. But I suppose my disconnections probably come on a little bit quicker than someone who was just super positive all the time. He's not lost to the club in regards to, I suppose, watching them, and that's how I see it. He is watching them, obviously from home, but he has got no feeling at all in regards to going to games, getting involved, and he's lost his passion for the football club that he supported all his life. And it got me thinking, before I get onto the game, guys, because I've got a game to preview, even though I couldn't give a fuck about it. It got me thinking about this here. And the way the club have presented this here, these training sessions that fans are allowed to go and watch. And these have been going on now for a good month or so. It's not like brand new. And when they introduced these, and I've been banging on for so long over the last couple of years about fans having more access to training, like almost to the point of being so fucking annoying. And I just sort of stopped because it was becoming annoying. And there was a sense of entitlement as well, which, didn't sit well with me. But I think I made my thoughts and my opinions pretty clear on our right to go to training. And then the club, in their wisdom, thought, let's open the doors up. Let's open the doors up, once a fortnight, whatever it is. And it didn't occur to me at the time, because I actually went to one of them. I thought, beauty, I'll go to one of these. But the way they've advertised it, viewing sessions. There's a couple of things to this. It's whoever came up with the idea of calling it that, at the football club, that whoever came up with the idea and who fucking ticked that idea off, that to call this a viewing session, so cold, so corporate, and so removed, like the fans are the lifeblood of the club, the lifeblood of the club, the fans just so removed to call it a viewing session. A viewing session. After all this time, for all this time of locking us out of training sessions, they decided at that point in time to call it a viewing session. And I just sort of thought, fuck it. I'm not going to those anymore. I'm not going to go to viewing sessions. I'm not going to be treated like that. You can stick your training sessions up your ass. I'm not going to go. I won't go until that name's changed. But then I really thought about it. I thought there's a sense of excitement about that as well. And what I mean by that, and why I am hanging on with this football club, because I know change is going to take place. No matter how this season pans out, change is going to take place, and big fucking change. Big fucking change. And although I hate that, I hate the way they've advertised that, viewing sessions, it's kind of appropriate to how I am at the moment. I'm just a viewer of this football club at the moment. I'm not connected. I'm a viewer. I'll probably go on Sunday night. I haven't actually decided yet. I've got no will to actually go. It'd probably be easier for me to stay at home. But I'll probably go. But I'll go as a viewer, just a viewer. Like any other game of football, watching any other team in the competition, albeit watching this club, the club I'm currently viewing, probably a little bit more intently. But as much as I hate what they've done with that, the way they've advertised that, that's me. That's me now. But at the same time, these training sessions were introduced by someone. Someone in the club heard the fans. Someone in the club heard the fans. And I would like to think that person who heard the fans, it coincided with Graham Wright coming to the football club. And I don't want him to be the saviour. I don't want him to be the saviour. I don't want to view it that way. But it just seems funny to me that we're being locked out of this fucking football club. Then suddenly Graham Wright arrives and the club see it in their wisdom to listen to the fans. I've got no doubt in my mind that he came to the football club, guys, and he would have walked in and gone, what the fuck? He's been at Collingwood. What the fuck? You lock fans out of training sessions? You invite them twice a year? Please, I'm 100% he introduced these back. But please, Graham, tell me you weren't responsible for calling them viewing sessions. Tell me you weren't responsible for calling viewing sessions. But change is coming. Change is coming. And until then, we just have to hang on. Hang on. And I'm looking forward to change with this football club. And I know it's been part of who we are for such a long time, change, but it's got to happen. It's got to happen. Because something's not right when you're losing quality supporters who are leaving emotionally to your football club. Something is seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. So everyone over the next 12 or so weeks at the football club, inside the football club, are going to be under the microscope. Under the fucking microscope. And how good is that? Coaches. Everyone in the footy department. Uncontracted and contracted players, doesn't matter. Going to find Got to find out at the very least over the next 12 or so weeks who is really invested. Who is a team person? Who is the ultimate professional? And who is the fucking right skill set? Like, who has the right skill set? And who's fucking dragging the chain? Who is actually dragging the chain? I can't wait. I can't wait to see what transpires come the end of the year. It's keeping me invested to the club. And you look at that, and this is the fascinating thing. You look at that, the players, and I know I've been banging on about the players, I just have. I've gone cold on them. They've had their chance, The core group have been, they've had their chance. And everyone, they might respond. They may respond and they might make us look like fucking idiots. But 18 players out of contract. 18! There was 19 before George Hewitt signed, and isn't that just perfectly timed, George Hewitt? Perfectly timed. It had to be George Hewitt, didn't it? The ultimate team player, loyal servant, hardworking. It had to be him, 2-year contract, just to try the club at that very time, just tried to just sneak it in. Imagine if they signed Gov now for 2 years. Imagine if they decided to do that one first. Anyway, DeConning out of contract, Silvani out of contract, Kemp, Charlson, Carroll, McGovern, Newman, Evans, Haynes, Fantasia, Doherty, Monahan, Will White, Chincotta, Wilson, Lemmy, even Flynn Young, who hasn't even played a game yet. It's been at the club 3 minutes. 3 minutes Flynn Young's been at the football club. He's opted for a 6-month contract. They were his terms and that was his right. He's out of contract at the end of 2025 as well. I'm not going to go into that, the difference between a 6 and 18-month contract and why they nominate the difference at the moment. But the kid's going to back himself. I reckon he can play. Disappointed he's not even in the squad for the Essendon game, but his form is clearly at VFL level. Understand he hasn't played in our so-called system. Now he's got to go into the VFL and work out our so-called system. But his form at VFL level is streets ahead of half of the players that are running around at our football club at senior level at the moment. Anyway, there you go. That's the way I'm feeling at the moment, guys, about our football club. King's Birthday Eve clash, round 13. It's going to be 9 degrees, guys, on a Sunday. That is cold. And by the time the game starts, it might be even a little bit chillier. And this, I was thinking about, and it's Friday today, and it kind of reminds me today, it's got that bite, that real winter bite. This reminds me of the weather of the 2023 elimination final when we played Sydney and it was freezing. It was freezing. I just remember we were on level 3, it was so cold. But because the game was so close, you didn't necessarily feel it. But I went back and had a look at the weather. It was actually 8 degrees on that Friday night when we played Sydney in that elimination final. And the day before that game, guys, it was 23 degrees the day before. And then we had a little bit of a cold patch. Then we played the elimination final of the week later against Melbourne on a Friday night at the G, and it was 25. It was 25 degrees a week later. We have bizarre weather here in Melbourne. It is a winter game. It's going to be cold. I actually don't mind if the wind isn't too strong. I don't mind if it's cold. I feel like the atmosphere on a cold night at the G is kind of good. as long as it's not raining and it's just like, I don't know, the atmosphere feels okay. 13th v 10th. I mean, who can believe that Essendon they've had 2 more wins than us. Like, 2 more wins than us. Who can believe that? We're 13th on the ladder, they're 10th. You sort of shake your head at that, but you look at the percentage, 102 to 84 in our favour. And the bookies are saying we are favourites. Of course they are. $1.45, Essendon 2.79. I'm not here to bag Essendon. I'm just not. I'm in no position. In fact, I don't on this channel bag any football club. I don't, other than our own. I don't feel the need. I actually thought Essendon were, and I'll hate to hear this. I'll hate to hear this. They were actually really good last week against Brisbane. I was super impressed. Super impressed the way they got back into that game. However, there's a lot of likenesses between us and the Bombers. There's so many likenesses. And I'm not necessarily saying in the style of play, but just everything about both clubs. And when Essendon hit the front in that, was that the last quarter or the third quarter they hit the front against Brisbane? Might have been the third quarter. They hit the front. I think Caddy got them in front or someone got them in front. Not for 1 second did they ever think they were going to win that game. Not for 1 second. And that's us. That's us. That's us to a T. And when you're young, which they are at the moment, I always say when you're a young team and you're a developing team, which I think Essendon are, they got a lot of players out, you need to take a big scalp. Like, you need to fucking take a big scalp. I used to always say it about us. Whether that's on the road or at home, wherever that may be, not in the comfort of a Marvel Stadium, big scalp, but, at the G, big scalp for the Bombers. That would have been huge for them, but they didn't believe they were going to win that game, and it played out exactly that way. But they were okay. They were okay in that game, and they've decimated. They've had 6 wins this year, and they've, for the most part, what were the expectations of them coming in? They've beaten Richmond at the G in the Dreamtime game, Sydney at Marvel, who are going like a busted arsehole, even though they've beaten us. North at Marvel by 3 points. They beat the Eagles in Perth, Melbourne at the G when they were struggling, and Port Adelaide at Marvel early on in the year. And that equates to no team in the top 8. And their 5 losses have come against good opposition. Brisbane at the Gabba in a close one. They were like fucking so ordinary against the Bulldogs. 91 points in that game. Collingwood on Anzac Day. Crows got them by 61 at Marvel, and then Hawthorn at the G. So they're all quality outfits that have done a number on Essendon this year. They've had their biggest winning margins, 39 points. And they've got it tough. Like, I mean, when you're 10th on the ladder and you're decimated by injuries, every game's probably a challenge. But they've got us, Geelong, Freo away, and then Gold Coast. That's a tough run before they get Richmond again. But by that stage, I reckon Richmond are probably building and building. They seem to be really well organised at the moment. So there's no easy wins for them. So people are probably looking at this game and thinking, they're probably thinking they're a chance. Like, they're probably thinking they're a good chance to get a team like us who've just been bitterly disappointing, who can stink it up and crumble under pressure, that can crumble under pressure. And not once this year, not once, have we shown any real fight, when we've been headed, when we've been challenged, the opposition have got in front, a couple of goals up. We have not. We have wilted. We've wilted late in games, and they will, their coach will. I heard Nate Caddy interviewed on a show called The Players. It's actually not a bad show on Channel 9. It's lighthearted, but he actually said that Brad Scott's a terrific motivator, like a terrific motivator. Anyway, they'll back themselves in this game, and it wouldn't be at all surprised at all for them to roll us. Historically, when I say historically, over the last 5 occasions, we've had the wood over them. We've won 4 out of the last 5 against the Bombers. And I mentioned they're just like, I mean, their injury list is like fucking, it gives you a headache. It gives you a headache. Like, I just don't even know how they're surviving. I mean, Jordan Ridley, Ben Mackay, Zach Reed, there's three of your best key defenders right there. I mean, Jordan Ridley's a gun. He's a gun. I mean, Mackay's hit and miss. I don't know, he's hit and miss. But Zach Reed's a really good talent. Like, he's finally got his body right. Well, he did have it right. He's out. Lewis Hayes is out, another key defender. Youngster, Josh Draper, who they brought across from Western Australia. He's out. Nick Bryan, no ruckman. Like, fucking hell, they have to rely on Todd Goldstein. Why don't they play the young kid Vicentini? He's very impressive. Very impressive, although he's only in his second or third year. He's probably a little bit young. Nick Bryan, who's the other big, no Draper as well. Harrison Jones, Cole Langford, who's one of their best sort of hybrid forwards. Nick Cox. Saad Al-Houli is out as well. So is it Tom Lewis, the boy they got from Western Australia? Who do I say? Josh Draper. He's the ruckman. Anyway, they got a fucking mountain of injuries. But they get Darcy Parish back finally. He's played 2 games in the VFL. He hasn't played since last year. He had that great patch, didn't he? Like, was it 4 or 5 years ago back now? He was like just mid-40s. Like, he was just like, yeah. I know he's frustrated as supporters in the past, but I don't expect a lot from Darcy Parish if he does play. He's been named on an extended bench. I suggest he will play. And they bypassed, like, I'll get to the team shortly, but I reckon we've probably seen the last of Dylan Shield. He's gone. Jai Menzies is out of favour. He's out of contract at the end of the year. Don't know what's happened to Alwyn Davey Jr. He's played 8 games in the VFL this year after had knee surgery in the off-season, but seems to be out of favour. And they've brought in Liam McMahon, and we know about Liam McMahon. He was on our VFL list for about 3 seasons. And he got picked up in the mid-season draft. He's on the extended bench at this stage. Will he come in? He kicked 2 goals, 2 last week for the Bombers VFL from 10 disposals and 6 marks. It'd be great to see him. It'd be great to see him make his debut, AFL debut. It's been a long wait for him. The other mid-season drafts, is one injured? Archer May might be injured. They got that other big dude, 203-centimetre ruckman, I think, from South Australia, 26-year-old Lachlan Blackiston. Is he injured as well? Because he's big. He's big. Anyway, we know our injuries. No Jagger Smith. He's back running. Great to see. No Nick Newman. I reckon they'll put him on ice, won't they? He's out of contract, isn't he? He's out of contract, Nick Newman. But anyway, he'll sign a 1-year deal. No Brody Kemp, out of contract as well. He's out for the year. Cottrell, won't see him for the rest of the year. That's a hot spot in the foot. Gone. Gonski. Mystery man Elijah Hollins. Hope mentally he's okay. Hope mentally Elijah Hollins is okay. And no Lockie Cowan yet, hamstring injury. Silvani's back into the team. Chicotta's on the extended bench. Williams is back in the team. Fantasia, yes. Sauceman is on the extended bench. Jordan Boyd was not considered. And Hudson O'Keefe might make his long-awaited AFL debut. His season at VFL level has been terrific. And my man, Flynn Young, disappointed he didn't get the nod. I would have been super excited to go along to the G and watch Flynn Young play. We know the key players. We've been fucking burnt. Hot plate stuff. Burnt by Warner and Isaac Heaney against the Sydney Swans. Didn't bother to tag him. Fucking killed us. And then the following week, the most influential player, a bloke that can turn a game and direct the game and influence the game, Toby Green, had his best game against any team so far this season. who are the key players? They seem to be quite even across the board, but it's got to be Zach Merritt or Nick Martin. Take your pick. Is Chincotta coming in to play that role? Probably. Boring. Peter Wright and Nate Caddy seem to be working okay in tandem. Like the look at Nate Caddy. Does he produce 2 big games in succession? That was a quality performance on Harris Andrews last week, who was kind of bullying him at the start of the game. They got a host of youngsters playing, like Archie Roberts looks to be a player, real sort of cheeky, sort of hard, nutty, fucking antagoniser, but can play the game. Like the look of Angus Clark. His first game was an absolute ripper. He kicked 3 goals on debut and went a little bit back last week. Really like the look of him. And Isaac Keiko, I still think Keiko is going to be a really good player, but he's yet to really take the game by the scruff of the neck. And he's only young, but they're severely undermanned down back. Severely. The fact that they keep Brisbane to under 100 points last week was admirable, to say the least. So let's look at the teams. And these will be finalised by, I think, what is it, guys? 5:20. By the time this comes out, it's probably going to be 4 o'clock, probably 5 o'clock anyway. But let's quickly look at the Bomber. That no disrespect, but that back line, if we're losing, if our forwards aren't having a picnic on that back line, then we're in serious trouble. Serious trouble. McGrath, Laverde, out of contract. I don't think he'll even be at the club next year, Jaden Laverde. Archie Roberts, good young kid. Zach Johnson, second gamer. Mason Redmond, he's more of a rebounding, attacking defender. He's not great one-on-one. They're relying on him to fill that key position. And the former Brisbane Lion player, Jackson Bry, is still trying to find his feet. That's an average defence. Oh, my God, that's an average defence. And you look across the centre line, I'm not a huge Dersma fan, never have been. Love Zach Merritt, think he's an absolute jet. Mentioned Angus Clark, like the look of him. I reckon Archie Perkins has just bounced back really well this year after having a shocker last year. Nate Caddy's going to be good. We know that, but I don't know if he's going to be able to back up. Who plays on him? I think it'll be Jack. I think Jack Silvani will play on Caddy. I feel like Weedian will probably go to 2 metre Peter, because I don't think Nick Haynes is a good enough sort of lockdown key defender. So that's the way I think it will go. Hobbs is a real workhorse, not polished. The fact that they're relying on him to be a goal kicker in their front half, it's more of a tackling pressure type player. High draft pick that really hasn't he's been okay, sort of been on the fringe a little bit for the Bombers. Peter Wright's been a little bit better since he's come back into the team. Mentioned Keiko. Coldstein's he's on one leg, guys. He's on one leg. And if Tom DeConning can't extract the digit from his arsehole and have one of his best games of the season against the veteran, the former best ruckman in town, mind you, who's nowhere near that anymore, then, don't let the door hit you on the way out, Tom, because you should be taking big Todd Goldstein to the cleaners. Caldwell and Durham are a good, serviceable midfielders, really good. And they'll need to be watched because they can have good games and they're super consistent. Mentioned Parrish, Elijah Tatchers, he's a sort of bit of a whipping boy for the Bombers. I don't know who. Maybe if you're an Essex supporter, you'll tell me. I think looking at that extended bench, Archer Day Wicks will get dropped. I don't think Luamon Luell, a second-year defender, I know he could play his first game. I don't think he'll play. And I think they might drop Tatsis, leaving Parrish, Gresham, Setterfield, Guelphy, and maybe Liam McMahon makes his debut. Although, where does he fit in? Where does he fit in? I mean, it's not like he's going to play back. Anyway, we go to our boys, the Blues. I mean, so many players out of form. I mean, you look at that centre line, if it lines up that way, Doherty and Blake Acres. I know Doc had a reasonable game and was probably our best player against the Giants, but that's... Blake Acres couldn't get a kick in a fucking karate movie at the moment. Williams back in. Fantasia, it makes me laugh. It really does. The fact that he's had one game back in the VFL where he touched the ball 8 times and we just had to rush him back in. I don't think he'll play. So have a look at that extended bench for us. Carroll, Fantasia, Jesse Motlop, Will White, Hudson O'Keefe, Chincotta, Corey Durden, Jackson Binns. I feel Jackson Binns will have to play. If you're expecting Blake Acres and Sam Doherty, unless Sam Walsh rotates through those wings, I can't see it happening. I cannot see that happening. So Binns has to play. I don't mind Young being dropped. He's kind of a liability. And I feel for Harry O'Farrell. But if you bring back Jack Silvani, the kid's got to go. The kid's got to go. If he stays in, then Nick Haynes has to go. And Voss wants to keep his job. They want to play safe here. They want to keep their season alive. And they're probably not going to keep their season alive playing Harry O'Farrell. That's just the way they're probably viewing it at the moment. So I'm thinking Chincotta will play, so there's one. I don't think Will White deserves to be dropped, even though he hasn't set the world on fire. There's 2. Binns plays, there's 3. I need 2 more. I need 2 more, guys. I feel like Durden will play, although he hasn't been great. There's 4. That's enough small forwards. That leaves Jesse Motlop out. That leaves Fantasia out. I'm going to go Hudson O'Keefe to make his debut. There's 5. There's 5, meaning young Carroll goes out. There's your 5, guys. There's your 5. That's what I'm hoping. If I'm hoping to get any interest in this game at all, guys, any interest at all to finish off here, it's this. I really don't care about connection at the moment. I don't care about the better synergy inside 450. I just don't believe that's going to happen. I just don't. I feel like that's just going to be an ongoing issue with this team. It's just not going to go like that, and it's all going to change. You know what I want to see, and I mentioned it briefly before. I want to see some fight in this team. And in the perfect scenario, and you can't manufacture a result, but the perfect scenario for me, guys, would be for the Bombers to actually do what Richmond did against us, to actually really surprise us and take the lead and actually look like the game is got away from us, and then we have to fucking come back. We have to fight like crazy to get back into the game and then win it. That's the only thing that would slightly prick my ears up, because I would then at least leave the G saying there's a bit of fight in this group, because I haven't seen that from this group for such a long time. Speak soon.